Students, just we have to study about emerging political trends, 1977 to 2000s. During the period of 1977 to 2000s, what was the political events that we can study here? Only we have studied the previous chapter, 1975 emergency proclaimed. But it continued, even though it is continued in nearly 2 years after that, Indira Gandhi unexpectedly declared for the withdrawal of the emergency. So election proclaimed in 1977. That means there is a return of the democracy, we can see. The time of emergency, there was no democracy. Police rule, military rule imposed all over the India. People suffered a lot of problems. But even though military police rule imposed in the India, Congress rule was somewhat better for the people. That means there was no corruption, there was no black marketings. Everything is good for the people, but due to the cancellation of the freedom of thought, fundamental rights, people could not give any kinds of response to government. So government unable to understand the people problems. So that is one failure of these Congress governments. That is why government cannot solve the problem of the people. So 1977 election happened. In this election, Congress failed for the first time in the history of the India, in central government also. So Congress lost power in the central government. Then opposition parties together formed a new party that is called the Janata Party. Morarji Desai became the Prime Minister of the India in 1977. It is a combined government. It's not a coalition, a combined government. Number of parties, especially National Conference in the Jammu and Kashmir, Shiromani Akali Dal in the Punjab, and Janasangham. These are the parties joined together. Number of the parties joined together and formed Janata parties. Morarji Desai selected as a Prime Minister. Even though this government was some push, it could not take any kinds of decision. There is a more policy paralysis we can see because divergent opinion came from different parties. That is why they could not take more decisions. It was continuous a kind of unstable government. Because the reason 1980s the Morarji Desai government was fallen down. Then again Indira Gandhi came to the power. We can see the coming of Indira Gandhi in this period. So before that, sixth president of the India, Neelam Sanjeev Reddy was came to power. Neelam Sanjeev Reddy came to power. We can see here. Then in the period there is a challenges in the unity of the India. There was a central government took more power over the state governments. 9 Congress ministry was dissolved and election conducted. But when Indira Gandhi again came to the power in 1980, in this period, same like Indira Gandhi also dissolved the 9 non-Congress ministry and again they conducted elections. This all we can see in this period 1997 to 1980s. Then other important thing we can see in this period, emergence of regional aspirations. Emergence of regional aspiration we can see here. Regional parties emerged and powerful. They formed state government in different states of the India. Most important thing we can study Andhra Pradesh. After the 1977, 1975 onwards, there was a movement took place in the Andhra Pradesh areas. It became culminated in 1982 and it became was for the formation of the TDP or Telugu Desam Party by NTR, the popular hero of the Andhra Pradesh. And in 1982, the TDP came to power. When TDP came to the power, it was against the Congress. The governor belonged to the Congress ministry. The governor, when NTR was, or N.T. Ramarao was in the America, governor dismissed the chief minister and appointed another chief minister. But it became problem for the Telugu Desam Party and Telangana, Andhra Pradesh people. They began to fight against the government. A movement started. Again, new governor appointed and Telugu Desam leader NTR again came to the power. That is one regional movement we can see here. Again, movement Assam area. Assam is in as in the name, Assamese are more in the places, but Bengalis took hold almost all power in the government. The time of British period, except middle and lower section of the government, official was under control of the Bengalis. If not only these Assamese thought that they treated as a second-rate citizen, and at the same time, most of the economic power in the hand of the Bengalis, and they thought that the Assam is treated as a kind of internal colony of the Indians. They taken all the oil, even tea plantations on all the Calcutta's based companies. So this all created a kind of problem. They started movements. Assam Students Unions formed, Assamese Students Union formed. Later, it became very high, very powerful movement. Then after, we can see they started a movement against the Bengali, anti-Bengali movement, then anti-Indian movement. In that time, Rajiv Gandhi took a measurement. Rajiv Gandhi dissolved the government, dismissed the government, and held again election. In that time, Assam Gana Parishad came to power. But even though Assam Gana Parishad came to power, the problem not at all solved. The number of tribal people emerged. They began to fight with each other. Tribal problem again continuing the Assam that we can see. Other important major movement is Punjab agitations. Punjab during this period, Punjab people wanted, especially Sikh people wanted to get a separate state power that is called Khalistan. Main problem for them is Chandigarh is the common capital for the Kariyar and Punjab. They wanted to separate the capital for them. And this all created a kind of separation mentality among the people of the Punjab. It is believed that Pakistan encouraged the Sikh people to fight against the Central government. A Sikh militant group was formed. They occupied the Golden Temple of the Punjab. In order to vacate this Golden Temple of the Punjab, Indira Gandhi government appointed the army there. It is called, these army operations called as Operation Blue Star in the history of the India. But even though the Sikh people removed from their, vacated from their Golden Temple, number of Sikh people were killed. In revenge to this action, Operation Blue Star, Indira Gandhi was killed in 1984. Indira Gandhi was assassinated in 1984. Just after that, Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister of the India. Because of the sentimental author, Rajiv Gandhi got historically bitter and Congress again came to the power in 1984. Then Rajiv Gandhi, we can see Rajiv Gandhi initiated a number of programs, peace mission to the Punjab and Mizoram and Assam area, and same like other important peace mission is Sri Lanka. He made a peace mission to Sri Lanka. LTT is the Tamil peoples in the areas, but it was totally failed because of the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi also. Other important program initiated by the Rajiv Gandhi is introduction of the Panchayat Raj institution. Rajiv Gandhi said that when the government spent 1 rupee for the poor people, only 15 MB, 15 MB reached the hand of the poor section. Balance 85 paisa go to the different intermediate people. So, in order to solve the problem, Rajiv Gandhi introduced a new program that is called the Panchayat Raj institutions. Other important program introduced by the Rajiv Gandhi is telecom revolutions. A new revolution occurred, a new technological communication system developed all over the world, that is called the telecommunication that developed in India. Then this is mostly something about the Rajiv Gandhi. Then this period there is more corruption occurred. The period of the Rajiv Gandhi, more corruption occurred. The opposition party began to make a campaign against these corruptions. It goes for the fall of the Rajiv Gandhi government in 1989. And 1989, for the first time, the coalition government came to power with VP Singh as a Prime Minister of the India. VP Singh took a historical decision and implemented the Mandal Commission report and provided 27% reservation for the OBC sections. That is one of the important decisions taken by the, even though number of sections opposed, they did not say anything against these decisions. Then during this period, a communal problem also occurred. Janasangam Chitra say BJP got at first less seats. They followed religion as their propaganda, and very fast 1989 they got 120 seats, and they support this VP Singh government. During this time, under the leadership of the R.K. Advani, Lal Krishna Advani, a big march started to Ayodhya. They claimed Ayodhya is a place of the birth of the Rama, and Babri Masjid is the Babri Masjid is not a mosque; it is a temple. So they started a march to the Radhayatra to the Ayodhya, but it was stopped by the VP Singh government before it reached Ayodhya. So in return to these movements, this action by the VP Singh government, BJP withdraw the support from the VP Singh government. So VP Singh government resides power. Again, we can see 1992, PV Narasimha Rao came to power. It was another important history in the world, in the history of the India, because VPN's government unable to control the country because of the less amount of the foreign monies. VP Singh forced to liberalize the countries. So liberalization started, a new economic policy started in the India. That VP Narasimha Rao was to sign a structural adjustment program proposed by the World Bank. These are the most important things we have to discuss in this topic, emerging political friendship, 1977 to. Next, we have to study about the post-war world and India's. After the World War, what is happened? The world politics. It's a big topic, but I like to explain very shortly about this topic only for the examination purpose. Here we have to study mostly results of what is happened in the World War, after World War. Most important problem happened, destructions. More destruction occurred in the world because of the World War. Especially USSR, Germany, Japan, these all countries lost huge amount of men and materials. USSR lost number of things. Nearly 20 lakhs people are killed in the USSR, and number of villages are destroyed, number of houses are destroyed. Then these all destruction. Not only one country, every country lost their power after the Second World War. Even victorious group lost and failure group also lost. But we can see here America. The loss was very less after the World War. America emerged as a supreme power because World War not took place in the America. It took place in the European theatre of war. That is happened. Other important problem, other important thing we can see after the World War is assertion of the democratic principles. Almost all the world countries try to accept the democratic principle as a most important government system, and most of the countries in the world began to introduce democratic principle in their government systems. Then other important thing we can see after Second World War, decolonization. Most of the colonial power lost its power after the Second World War, especially Britain lost its all colonies. Before the Second World War, Britain was biggest imperial country in the world, in which sun never set. Nearly 54 countries there under the control of the Britain. Now the Britain lost all the power. Most of the colony go to independent. Decolonization is the most important thing happened after the Second World War. Then other important thing we can see here, emergence of the Cold War. The Britain power digressed as secondary to power. In the place of two supreme power emerged, that is called USSR and USA. They began to fight each other in indirect manner, that is called the Cold War. Then establishment of the UN is the most important thing we have to study in this chapter. After the before the end of the Second World War itself, the world countries, world supreme power felt that organizations, establishment of the organization. So 1945, October 24th, the UN Charter was accepted by the big countries in the world, and UN was started at the Taiwan base. UN has 6 more important organs. They are called the General Assembly, Security Council, UN Trusteeship Council, Social and Economic Council, and Secretariat and International Court of Justice. These are the 6 organs. Apart from that, number of agencies like UNICEF, UNESCO, and World Health Organization, WTO. These all number of agencies are therefore helping the UNO's work. UN made a number of progressive work for the development of the humanities, and also stopped a number of war. The time of the Cold War, USSR and USA fought with command. They are the edges of the war, but UNO intervened solved the problem number of times. These are all victories of the UNOs we can see here. Then we have to study about what is Cold War. Cold War we can see the 3 important features: proxy war, military alliance, and space race. These are the 3 important features we can see this Cold War. Proxy war is indirect war. UNOs, USA propagated capitalism. At the same time, USSR propagated communism. In some developing countries, we can see communist people and capitalist peoples. Those who are the propagator of the communism supported by the USSR or Russia. At the same time, capitalist people supported by the USA. So within the country, 2 sections emerged and they began to fight with each other. Both sections supported by the USA and USSR. In this way, war took place. This is called proxy war. That is one of the important characteristics of the Cold War. Then military alliance. USA made NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Molotov Pact by the USSR. This is a military alliance they made. This military alliance created a kind of tension of war. That is, this tension of war also we can go to say Cold War. Then other important thing in the arm race and the space race. Each groups of countries, means capitalist groups of countries and communist group of countries began to make more and more weapons. This creation of weapon created a kind of tension among the peoples. Every people thought that the Third World War will occur. It became more dangerous than the Second World War. This war of tension we can term as a Cold War. These are the most important we can discuss in the Cold War. Next, non-alignment movements. Just after the Second World War, number of countries got independence. They become independent countries in the bipolar world. Means one side capitalist bloc, other side communist bloc. Middle there is a independent countries. What they have to do? They have to join with the communist bloc or capitalist bloc. But it was in this time, Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru took a new decision that is called the non-alignment policies. Not join with the communist bloc, not join with the capitalist bloc, and followed independent foreign policy. These independent foreign policies termed as a non-alignment movement. Number of countries in the world supported non-alignment movement. Now, non-alignment movement is most important movement now present time in the world. It worked for the economic and social security of the Third World countries. This group is called as Third World countries. This is mostly non-alignment movements. Next, we have to study India's relation with the neighboring countries. India's relation with the neighboring countries mostly based on the non-alignment policy and Panchashil principles. Even though India signed the Panchashil principle with China, India had to war with China in 1962. It is because of the Tibetan issues. Tibetan is actually Babar's one, but China occupied Tibet. The Tibetan leader Dalai Lama and number of Buddhist people come on into the India. India had given asylum for these peoples. It was not liked by the China peoples. So it was the reason for enmity between the India and China. It became cause for the attack of India by China. In 1962, China attacked the India. India got much loss during this period. It was the last and first India-China war. Again, now it is a good relation between China and India. They forgot about the boundary issues, and India and China maintain a good relation between each other. Other important relation with Pakistan. India-Pakistan relation is mostly dangerous relations. There is no much good relation between India and Pakistan. Pakistan was part of the India. In 1947, when India got independent, Pakistan formed. Then first Indo-Pak war occurred in 1947-48. Kashmir attacked by the Pakistans. In that time, Kashmir king asked help from the India. So India asked joining of the Kashmir with India. So India helped the Kashmir against the Pakistans. In 1948, one part of the Pakistan, Kashmir was taken by the Pakistan. It is called as a POK or Pak occupied regions. Then after 1965, again the time of Lal Bahadur Shastri's period, Pakistan attacked the India. Then again 1971, there is a Bangladesh war occurred. In that time, India proclaimed war against the Pakistan. There all war Pakistan lost or failed before the Indians. Again 1999 Kargil war occurred. These are the important war took place between the India and Pakistan. Even though India-Pakistan war and boundary problems are going on, economically and culturally India and Pakistan follow in good relations. This is something about the India relation with Pakistan. Next, one more. Sri Lanka, India's relation with Sri Lanka. India's relation with Sri Lanka is stand by the Tamil people because number of Tamil people living in the Sri Lanka, they did not get equal status with the Sinhalas or Buddhist people of the Sri Lankas. It became cause for the fight between the Sinhalas and Tamil people. This fight later culminated a very high peak stage. Later, the Tamil people militant totally crushed by the Sinhala peoples. Now there is a good relation between India and Sri Lanka. This India-Sri Lanka relation became cause for the death of the Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India in 1991. These are the India-Sri Lanka relation. Now there is a good relation between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, thanks. First, we have to study about the social movement in our time. In this topic, we have to study civil rights movement in USA, human rights movement in USSR, Bhopal gas tragedy, Silent Valley movement, Narmada Bacha Andolon, women movement in AP. These are the topic we have to discuss here. It's a big topic, but I shall briefly explain for you. Okay, here civil rights movement in USA. Actually, Afro-American people who live in America did not have any kinds of democratic rights. They were separated by rules and regulation. They have separate buses, separate school, everything will be separate. So, under the leadership of the Martin Luther King, they started a movement. The movement became very severe. A Washington March they conducted. So, at last, they got all the demands given by these Afro-American people. Martin Luther King dream was successful. In 1965, before 1960s, this movement was started and ended after 1960s. This civil rights movement, Martin Luther King followed Mahatma Gandhi strategies. What are the Mahatma Gandhi followed here? Non-cooperation movement, Satyagraha, the like movements, number of civil disobedience movement, the like movement. They also started in the Americas. At last, the victory over the victories in the movement. Or what are the demand they given for the democratic rights? These all democratic rights they achieved through the civil rights movement. Next movement about the human rights movement in USSR. USSR became a communist country in 1970s after the revolutions. But in communist countries, they don't have much freedom. They have equality, they have everything, the government provide everything for them, much total job, everything they got, but there is no much freedom. Especially the people don't have right to start their own business, their own factory. So other countries, nearby the communist countries, other countries people have full right, they can start business, they can become rich men, they can enjoy full life. But this like facility is not there in the Russian countries, especially USSR. They want more freedom. They treat it as a human right and they began to strike, fight for the more freedom for the country, freedom for the peoples. This movement is called as a human rights movement. Later, the Gorbachev came to power in the USSR. In that time, he had given more freedom for the peoples. And after the Gorbachev, the USSR was demolished. And as a result of the cancellation of the USSR, number of countries emerged. Later, they formed a Commonwealth countries for the USSR. That is happened the human rights movement in the USSR. Next, Bhopal gas tragedy. 1984, Bhopal carbon companies poisonous gas was emitted from there. It became cause for thousands of people death. This death after the death, and even today, number of people suffering lot of problem from these gas tragedies. They demand number of things from the peoples. They need compensations, but the companies, government company, sold to the private company, Dow company did not give any kinds of compensation for these people. Compensation given to the victims are very less, and also government take a number of measurements to stop this problem. But again, people are suffering. Recently, also we can see poisonous gas emissions in our areas. This is all problem here. Bhopal gas tragedy, people suffering. Other important topic we can study here, Narmada Bacha Andolan. About the Narmada Bacha Andolan, already you have studied in the previous classes. Narmada Bacha Andolan, Narmada River, across the Narmada River dam was constructed, already constructed. A number of dam under the Narmada Valley project. Sardar Sarovar dam across the Narmada River. Baba Mahalias and Waterways movement already we have studied. They asked for the forest, river for them. They don't want to go out from the areas. This is all we have studied. Narmada Bacha Andolan. Near again Silent Valley movement in the Kerala. Silent Valley, a rainy forest area. There between the two valleys there is a river going. Two rivers are going on there. Across the river, the government planned to construct a dam. So the people, Shastra Sahitya Parish, Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parish took initiative for starting the movement. They started the movement against the Kerala's government program for construction dam across the river. At last, it was a victorious movement. The dam construction was stopped. The valley was made as a national park. Then again, Chipko movement is another important social movement. Already we have studied the women movement in the AP. women movements, in the time of 19s, in the period of 1990s, the women of the, especially the lower strata women people suffer a lot of problem from the liquor addiction in the men communities. These women suffer a lot of problem, number of problem from the men's communities. So they started movement against the Arak and Tories. They stopped the Arak when come from the different places to the village. It become spread and they threatened the people's Arak owner not to sell product in the areas. They stopped. This movement started from one village to village and spread all over the Andhra Pradesh. Later 1995, the government banned or abolished the Arak. That is Victorious movement. Other important topic we have to study Veera Pipe movement in the Manipur. Armed Forces Special Protection Act given more power for the soldier who appointed in the Manipur area. This soldier has power to kill anybody or make any kind of action or against the nations. Because there is Manipur, there is a two region, Valley region and hill area. Hill people wanted to get a separate country from the Indians. So government appointed a special armed force there with a special power. This special power they misused. So against this misuse of the special power, the women started movement that is called the Veera Pipe movement. Veera Pipe means torch bearings. Veera Pipe is a kerosene torch. This movement continued. 32 years old lady was died in the custodies. Her name is Thankacham Manorama against Iran Sharmila continued the struggle. Now what's the struggle going on? The government take action and appoint the committee to commission for inquiry about the problem suffered by the Manipur. This is other important movement. These are the more important social movements that took place in the India. Next, we have to study about the Telangana movement. Already you know about the Telangana movement. You are the participants of the Telangana movement. So before we study about the movement, we have to study some history of the Telangana. Telangana was a part of the Hyderabad state before the independence. Then after the independence also it is part of the Hyderabad state. Hyderabad state was ruled by the Nizams. Nizam wanted to make an independent country within the Hyderabad. But the people of the Hyderabad, including Telugu speaking people, out of the 16 districts, 8 districts people are talking the Telugu language. They inspired by the nationalist movements, spread of the nationalism and the encouragement of the Telugu language and democratic government. This all inspired by the people of the Telangana or Hyderabad state. They began to make a strike against the Nizam rules. It was supported by the central government, India, after the independence it was supported by the India government. So Nizam cannot be continuous with the support of the central government. Central government appointed Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to talk with the Nizam, but it was failed. Later Patel made a police attack to the Nizam. It was in this period Nizam escaped from the Hyderabad. Hyderabad city was joined with the Indian Union. Then after 1952, Hyderabad state was formed. Burugula Ramakrishna Rao became the first Chief Minister of the Hyderabad state. At the same time, Andhra state was formed in 1953 and Tanguduri Prakashalingam became the Chief Minister of the Andhra state. It is a history of the formation of Hyderabad state and Andhra state. But against the people of the Telugu speaking people in the Andhra Pradesh state started a movement for the Andhra Mahasabha or union of the Telugu people into a one nations, one state. It started again 1953 onwards. But 1953 itself it is formed by this Andhra state was formed by the death of the as a result of the death of the Potti Sri Ramalu's first. So 1953 government appointed a state reorganization commission to make a reorganization of the state on the basis of the language. Actually, central government did not like to make a state on the basis of the language because the central government thought that if the state was organized on the basis of the language, it became cause for the division of the country on the basis of language. Before India was divided on the basis of region, Pakistan and India. So the same thing may be happening in India when India was divided on the basis of the language. That is why central government did not want to make any kinds of measurement for the division of states, division of country on the basis of the language. But because of the Potti Sri Ramalu's death, the government appointed one state reorganization committee, and the report was given on the basis of the report in 1956. The first linguistic state was formed, that is for Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana joined with Telangana state, joined with Andhra and become a Andhra Pradesh. But Telangana people don't want to join with Andhra state in that time also. And because Telangana people thought that when they joined with Andhra state, the wealthy people of the Andhra state occupy the Telangana. So they made an agreement. The agreement is called the Gentleman Agreement. A Gentleman Agreement consists of 14 points. In this 14 points, Telangana people got a separate status within the Andhra Pradesh state. A Mulki rule, Mulki rule is the most important rule in the Gentleman Agreement. According to Mulki rules, any person come from the other state to living in the Telangana state, they have to live at least 12 years. Then only they will get domain status there. Then only they can join the Telangana job. This whole Mulki rule, and regional council was established in the Telangana in order to control the development activities of the Telangana. This is all part of the Gentleman Agreement. Gentleman Agreement made Telangana as a state within the state. All the development activities and appointment, government requirement, all will be done by these Telangana people only. This Andhra Pradesh state government did not have the much power. That was the Gentleman Agreement. But what happened? Once they came to the power, this Andhra government did not follow the Andhra Pradesh government did not follow the Gentleman Agreement. That time always under the leadership of the Professor Jayashankar, this movement was started. In 1969, agitation occurred in the Usmania University. It became a severe movement. In this movement, nearly 370 people lost their life. Then central government intervened the problem, and they made a 8-point plan was introduced, and the movement was stopped. But against this movement, Jai Andhra movement started in the Simandhra regions. So because of Simandhra region, people stress, what happened? This Gentleman Agreement, most of the thing was cancelled. Council was cancelled, regional council was cancelled, and even Mulki rule was cancelled. Then after, the Telangana become a full-fledged part of the Andhra Pradesh state. Any people can come anywhere in the Andhra Pradesh, they can live without any problem, and job will be distributed on the basis of the region priority. So, Gentleman Agreement got separate status for the Telangana also lost because of these Jai Andhra movements. Then during these times, NTR come to the politics. NTR, the popular actor of the Andhra Pradesh. Then mostly Telangana movement, Telangana separate movement was mostly stopped. Everyone is began to worship this NTR. That is why Telangana movement almost got suppressed during this period. Again, after the death of this NTR, again movement started in 1980s. 1980 again people started a movement. It was this time movement was gradually increased. Non-cooperation movement, public meetings, and Dhoom Dham, this all they arranged during this period. 2001 KCR formed, Chandrasekhar Rao formed TRS parties. TRS parties movement already you know that TRS main aim is to make a separate state for the Telugu peoples. It is continued. This movement continued up to 2014. In 1909, KCR go for the fast up to death. In Usmania people support this fast up to death, and they started Assembly Muttadi, Assembly attacks in 2009. But it was given much shock for the central government. The central government given announcement for the separate state for the Telangana people. But because of pressure from the Andhra region peoples, even though KCR stopped his fasting, because of the pressure from the Andhra region people, the announcement for the Telangana state was withdrawn. Again, the Telugu people have to wait for the 4-5 years to get Telangana state, because of the severe during this period a number of joint action committee was formed. Every regions, every group of people formed joint action committee. They united as a Telangana joint action committee, and at last in 1914 June 2nd Telangana was formed because of the number of people sacrificed. Professor Jayashankar was the founder person for the Telangana movement. He is called as a father of the Telangana movement. Before achieved the stage 2014 June 2nd 2011 he was passed away. This is something about the Telangana. Okay, students, now we have to study about the India map. Not only India map, all the map we have to study. About the map, already explained in the class. Number of examinations, map examination conducted. he performed. Now, briefly, I shall explain about India physical map. And Indian physical map, we can see India is located in the southern part of the Asian continent. The northern part of India, we can see Himalayan range. Himalayan range already we studied in the first chapter, 3 parallel range of Himalayas. Again, north of the Himalaya, China is there. The northern boundary, neighbor state of the India is China. Then western side we can see, western side Arabian Sea, eastern side Bay of Bengal, southern side Indian Oceans. Then here we can see north eastern side Pakistan, the north is this side just corner area, Afghanistan bounded with India, then Bhutan bounded with India, likewise Myanmar bounded with India, then Bangladesh bounded with India. These all boundary state of the countries of the Indias. Then when we come to the physical condition of the Indias here, western side in peninsular India, in southern part of India, why it is called peninsular? 3 sides of the land is covered by seas. Here Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. So this part of the India is we can call as peninsular India. This middle India, this is called the peninsular India. In western side of the peninsular India, we can see Western Ghats, and eastern side we can say Eastern Ghats. The southern part of the India, the southern tip of India, Kanyakumaris. Similarly, we can see here island group, Andaman Nicobar Island group. The southern tip of the Andaman Nicobar Islands, it is called Indira Point, Greater Nicobar we can see here. Other important things, Port Blair is the capital and one port of the Andaman Nicobar Island. This is something we have studied. Then when we come to this side, Arabian Sea, we can see Lakshadweep Island, we can see here. Kavaratti is the capital of the Lakshadweep Island. Then Pak Strait between the India and Sri Lanka, a strait is there, that's called the Pak Strait. Here it is, we can see Pamban Island between here we can see Pamban Island. This is all physical condition of the Indias. Then other important things, eastern coastal plains, we can western coastal plain we can see, eastern side eastern coastal plain we can see here. Okay, then in this area we can see northeastern part Rajasthan area, Aravalli mountain range, and the west of the Aravalli mountain range, Thar desert we can see here. Then here it is Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Bihar, this area we can see the Indo-Gangetic plains. In the Indus plain is this Punjab, Haryana area, Indus plains. Most of the Indus plain is in the Pakistan areas. This is what we have studied. Then we can see the Assam areas, the Brahmaputra valleys, Indo-Gangetic plain extensions, Brahmaputra valleys, plains we can see here. This is all something about the, briefly I am telling about the physical map of the Indias. Then here important thing we have to, when we come to the political map, here we can see states, we can see here, southern part we can see Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, this old map, here it is Telangana formed, new states, Telangana formed here, Maharashtra, we can see here, Chhattisgarh and Orissa, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, then Sikkim, then we can see Meghalaya here, Tripura here, Mizoram here, Manipur here, Assam here, Nagaland, then Arunachal Pradesh, this area we can see, Bhutan, other countries, Nepal here we can see, Uttar Pradesh. Then when we come to here, Uttarakhand we can see here, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, these are Rajasthan. These are all capital also there. Here Tamil Nadu, Chennai is the capital. Each capital already explained number of times in your class. Each capital you have to study, especially in this area capital, Nagaland capital we have to study. Kohima is the Nagaland capital. So Imphal is the Manipur capital. These capital names we have to study. Every capital name we have to study. It is very, especially northeastern northeastern state capital we have to study very properly, because this all very easily we can understand. But some many mystery here. Then how will you study the map? When you take the outline map and what you studied, what you understand, that just locate there and just check with your booklets, not booklet, your actlets. Thereby you can understand. whether it is correct or wrong. In this way, you have to check what you studied. Thereby you can understand. Thereby you can understand whether it is correct or wrong. In this way, you have to practice. Okay, then I shall say something about some important thing I shall say to you. When we study about the world map, we have to study all the countries and its capitals. We can see here Moscow, the capital of Russia, Warsaw, the capital of Poland, Berlin, capital of the Germany, Rome, Italian capital, Lisbon, Portugal capital, Paris, France capital, England capital, London. This all you have to study. Cairo, we can see here. Then New York, very important. Washington, Texas. These all important cities. Panama cities you have to study. Mexican cities you have to study. It's all important for exam. La Paz, Brasilia. This is very important for exam. Here, Indian capital you have to study. Beijing is the capital of China. You have to study. Tokyo, the capital of the Japan. You have to study. Very important for exam. New Zealand, important for exam. Malaysia, you have to study. Java, Sumatra, International Island. Japan here. Then South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Kenya, Sweden, Turkey positions here, Italy here, Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, Argentina, Chile, USA, Canada, Alaska, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Germany, France, Spain, Portugal, Alexandria, very important, remember, Arabia area, Sweden area. This is Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Between Red Sea and Mediterranean Sea connecting one sea, it is called the Suez Canal, very important, as you have to remember. Holland, now it is called Netherlands, very important. Belgium, this side, Belgium we can see, very important, you have to remember. Nigerian place, very important, you have to remember. Libya also you have to remember. When you study about the world map, totally you have to remember, nothing to leave, all the country and its capital and all important places you have to remember. Don't leave anything. Students, now I shall explain some important places. Here we can see Kanchenjunga, one of the important highest peak, Mount Everest, highest peak in the world. Chotanagpur Plateau, Mahadev Hills, Sapura Range, Vindhya Range, Marwar Plateau, Deccan Plateau. It's all very important for exam. Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. Here we can see Indira Point, very important for the examination. Here nearby Port Blair is there, same like here we can see Cardamom Hill, very important for examinations. Lakshadweep Island, here we can see, very important for examinations. Aravalli Range, very important. Rain shadow of the Aravalli Range, here Thar Desert. This area is Thar Desert. K2 Mountain Peak, very important for exam. This is highest peak in the India. Pamir Range, very important for exam. Same like Hindu Kush Range also, very important for exam. This is very important for exam. It's very, we have to remember about it. When we come to the river system, Peninsula River or South Indian River, Mahanadi River, Krishna River, here we can see Godavari River, number of tributaries, Kaveri River, this is all East Flowing River, West Flowing River, Tapti, Narmadi, Mahi. These all come to the flow and enter the Arabian Sea. Duni River we can see is in the Thar Desert areas. Very important for the exam. You have to remember about that. Himalayan rivers, Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra River. Indus has 5 tributaries, Jhelum, Chenab, maybe Cyclus, enter the Pakistan. Flow through the India and enter the Pakistan. It is Indus flow through the Arabian Sea. Same like Ganga has number of tributaries. It enter the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal area and enter the Bangladesh. At the same time, Brahmaputra flow in northern places and enter the Arunachal Pradesh and Assam and enter the Bangladesh. Bangladesh, both Ganga and Brahmaputra join together and form one number. It is called Padma River and enter the Bay of Bengal. Some places of interest we can see Varanasi, Delhi, Simla, Srinagar, Mount Abu, Hyderabad, Tirupati, Ooty, Bangalore. These are important places of interest we can see. Mount Abu, how to remember. important seaports and airports. Calcutta, here we can see airport, here seaport we can see Paradip seaport, Shabadram seaport, Hyderabad airport, Chennai seaport and airport, Tuticorin seaport, Trivandrum airport, Cochin seaport, Mangalore seaport, Mormugaon seaport, Mumbai seaport airport, Navasiva seaport, Kangla seaport, Delhi airport. This is all important for exam to make on the exam. You have to study not only this, all states and its capital, all you have to study. All capitals and state you have to study, and all the neighboring state name you have to study. And important places, Darjeeling here you have to study. All the hill station names, all the hill stations also you have to study. Nothing to leave, and you have to practice that.